Hi, Aquarius rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 2nd of February until the 8th of February. So we do have got a Mercury and Venus. Both of them are in sextile to Chiron. And this is triggering your first and third house. So it is about you having to think about your personal brand and then how you are going to be pretty much selling this personal brand to others, to your local circle. And you're going to have the courage. Or it's about finding words to explain who you are or not wanting to explain anymore who you are because you need to be mentally secure about the way you come across to others. Or that could be a breakthrough, for example, connected to your appearance, and then you want to feel more confident in your speech. Or you are ready to speak like a real authority, or you're more trustworthy towards your own intelligence, or you realize that socializing is actually a medicine. Or this could talk to you about healing conversations that you are having with your siblings, with your neighbors as well. Or it's the realization that being different is actually the most valuable asset you've got, like when it comes to self-expressions, or you are ready to have a conversation about your personal journey and inspiring someone in your immediate environment, or you find beauty in your quirks, which allows you to learn to teach more effectively. If you are a teacher, this could indicate that you are going to be doing certain type of negotiations with a new student, or potentially you are putting a teaching material together, or there is a lot more mental focus, for example, and then you are cutting through old self-doubts, old stories that might be still lingering around. Or you are becoming a messenger of your own transformation, and people actually start kind of like listening to you. We do have got a few asteroids. One of them is Hopi and Phaeton entering the sign of Taurus. And this is about kind of like moving the mountains in your home environment. So it could be talking to us about you restructuring your home a little bit more, or you are ready to even heal the ancestry line here as well. And then we've got Nemesis, which is entering the 12th house. And it's important because it's going to be there for about an entire year, actually. So you are reviewing your subconscious shadow, your hidden patterns from the past. These are revealed to you. So you can kind of like lock the door on them, kind of like moving on from something that might be holding you back for a very long time. And this is something that I would recommend pretty much doing because you have got a very heavy first house. And the first house would be talking to you about rebranding, about kind of like tapping into who you are. But there is something lingering there, which is holding you back. So we're going to have to be able to kind of clear that out. Another big or important meta for you is Saturn on the 29th degree of the sign of Pisces, which is your second house still. And this is a 2.5 year cycle of restructuring your finances and self-worth. This is a final audit of your income and your relationship to stuff. So this is about endings in a way of, yeah, I want to rebuild my finances, or I'm going to be changing my what's the word I'm looking for? Spending habits, or you are ready to settle certain type of financial matters, for example. But it's a 2.5 year test of your own ability to be able to provide for yourself, and you're gonna have to make changes around that. This is about clearing out the money wounds so that you can prepare for a mental expansion. There should be some realizations about that. Now we've got the Sun and Ceres sextile happening also in your first and the third house. So this is going to be slightly or kind of similar to the Mercury, Venus, and Chiron combinations as well, which would be about you want to grow, for example, your social media channel, or you want to be more influential, feeding the soul of others by pioneering them, or like I said, a conversation about your personal journey, which might be empowering, for example, a sibling of yours, a neighbor of yours, and so forth. Or this is about feeding your curiosity, caring for your mind. So potentially this might be highlighting something that I would like to study, something new. Your authentic self is the medicine here. And to keep your mental sanity, you have to be feeding that mind, which seems to be craving for certain type of changes. Mercury is going to be entering your second house this week, and this is actually an important period here because Mercury is going to be spending a good 2.5 months in the sign of Pisces. The entire retrogression is going to be taking place in the sign of Pisces. The retrograde starts on 22 degree, but we are going to be talking about that later on this month. But of course, it's highlighting the relationship with money. We can become a little bit more nebulous with money, so just kind of be careful about that. Or maybe you are thinking about certain type of investments, or you are looking at your spiritual assets rather than your tangible possessions. Or maybe it's a financial decision that you need to be making. You've got a hunch, and then you wanna follow the hunch. The danger here is that you might not be doing the math. Your self-worth is not that tied to logic now. It's more about your spiritual state, or you are about to be communicating your values. Um, your values. Of course, Mercury is the ruler of your eighth house, so this is about discovering your assets, your spiritual assets, investing into your spiritual assets also. And maybe it's the realization that in order for you to generate more income, I'm going to have to be on the stage a lot more. Mercury rules stages in your life because it's the ruler of the fifth house. We've got Venus and Uranus square happening also, which is triggering your first and fourth house. And whenever Uranus is getting triggered, this is something unexpected. This is a personal breakthrough. Uh, this is a lightning bolt type of experience, for example, in your home life. This is an urge to liberate yourself from your family, from a domestic role. This is an unexpected identity shift, potentially, which might be disrupting your family because you might be acting out, then you are not acting the way others have expected you. So there is a shocking element here. Or this is about me wanting to break free from my roots because it feels like that it's holding me back from expressing the true version of myself as well. This could talk to us about a new look, a new name. It might be about suddenly moving out of a property also. So we've got those asteroids that I have started talking about at the beginning of this video, but with the Hopi and Phaeton moving into the sign of Taurus, which is your fourth sign, you might want to renovate. And you want to kind of do that quickly. You want to be moving somewhere, and then we kind of do that at high speed. Or maybe you are ready to look at the history of your family lineage, the history of your home, and so forth. Or maybe there is a family event that feels like kind of like a race, really. It is recommending that you need to stay grounded so that you are still maintaining your domestic peace. Or maybe you feel this urge to kind of protect your inner sanctuary because there's a lot of like noise in the world, and then I just want to keep my sanity. Or your roots can be shaken a little bit by a sudden realization, and you want to just take the right course of action And maybe that's why you want to be liberating yourself from certain type of domestic roles as well. And then, of course, with that nemesis, which we have already touched based on as well, this would really talk to you about, like I said, that subconscious shadow, which needs to be under review, or certain type of hidden patterns. Self-sabotaging patterns are brought to light so that you can restructure them, you can clear them completely out. So the summary for you this week, Aquarius, is that you should become the messenger of your own transformation. You being there can actually heal certain type of connections in your life, but a sudden identity shift could disrupt your domestic peace. Something might be going down in your family settings, which is actually shaking things up around you. Maybe you are ready to restructure your finances completely. You want to be following your intuition, but there is still a certain type of subconscious shadows there, which is telling you potentially around money, because Nemesis is still ruled by Saturn, right? And it's in final degree. So there is still some something that financially holding you back, and there needs to be those restructured. But the very heavy first house in your chart would talk to you about redefining yourself, getting in touch with, it's basically telling you that something needs to be upgraded in your life. So I highly recommend thinking about that. I think this week might be a little bit more about relaxation for you, or even connecting to people to kind of boost your professional relationships, connecting with your audience, for example. This is about mutual understanding as well, and I'm going to cooperate, but I'm going to be expressing my needs and wants. If you had certain type of conflicts, this could be a week when we resolve these conflicts. The conflict could be, for example, financial related as well. But it really feels like you need more excitement. For example, in your love life, I mean, Mercury is the ruler of your fifth. Getting together with Venus could be boosting your love life. And it might be also about you having to talk about past relationships with Chiron, having to kind of discover certain type of patterns connected to your past relationships. And we're just gonna have to sit down, be flexible a little bit, hearing out what others have got to say. So good luck, Aquarius rising, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.